Welcome everyone to the live stream. Glad you're here today. We're excited. We're going to be talking about something we've actually talked about before, which is artificial intelligence and how we use artificial intelligence in business. And so we've been messing around with this, Jared and I. Jared, I'm gonna pull Jared in here in a second, but kind of just want to frame what we're going to be talking about today. Uh, what we typically find is a lot of people want to create content, and they just don't have the time. They either aren't big enough to actually have a full-time marketing person, or they can't afford a marketing person, and so they're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place, and they just can't get any of this content created, either for a website, for social media posts, for any of the things that they want to actually start doing any kind of communication, or what most people call marketing. I like to use the term communication because that's really what we're trying to do. And so we tend to be handcuffed. And so the artificial intelligence is kind of like another assistant that can help you bridge that gap. And for a very small amount of money, you can have this assistant help you create. I got to turn off this motocross race in the background. I used to race dirt bikes, and so I have this little TV going on with a motocross race. Let me turn
Yeah,
that off.
turn your TV off. We're doing a live stream. Come on, man. What are you doing? This is professional here. Yeah, turn it
Yeah,
off.
let me bring Jared into the conversation here. Sorry about that, folks.
That's okay.
So
Oh well.
Jared and I are we've been talking about artificial intelligence. We use it all the time, don't we, Jared? I mean, this is something that
Yeah.
we use on a regular basis for lots of different things. And like I had mentioned, it's kind of like having that assistant come in and help you out when you need to create stuff. Now, doesn't mean it's going to be totally accurate. When you're using AI, you have to remember, and that Jared actually mentioned this to me a couple of weeks ago. Just remember that any kind of statistics or stuff are coming from the internet. So you may get false data, you may get accurate data. You have to kind of be the sleuth to figure out, is this information accurate or not? And depending upon where it's sourcing from, because as we know, there is fake information on the website that is not accurate. And so you have to kind of take that into consideration as you're creating content. And we're going to show you how to create some content for the different things that you'll do and how you can speed this up. Again, I know a lot of us are super busy and don't have time for this, but we need to get some content out there and communicate with our clients and prospective clients, and just show them that we're on the top of our game. Jared, any comments before we start diving in, or anything that's on your mind with regards to AI?
Yeah. No, I think what you said was great. Definitely, AI is a good helper, especially I know a lot of our clients, they don't have a giant company where they can hire marketing people and people to do writing for them and social media managers. That's their full-time thing. So it's nice when you're like a solopreneur or an entrepreneur or a small business that you can use a virtual assistant like ChatGPT to help you write social media posts, blog posts, help you get a presentation ready, all for a very low price or even free, like ChatGPT free. And a lot of the stuff we'll show today is just free using
Yeah.
OpenAI.com. The only thing you just got to be careful that when you're using it, it doesn't, that it sounds like you, because if you get ChatGPT to write stuff for you, it can sound robotic or perhaps not
Mm-hmm.
quite your writing style.
Yeah.
But some of those things you don't need to be your writing style. If it's just promoting a product or something that doesn't need to be your style, but for blogs or for stuff you're writing to people, like in a newsletter or other things, you may want to edit it and make sure you tweak it so it doesn't sound too fake or not you and somebody else. And that's an important thing to keep in mind when using AI in writing, so in my opinion.
Yeah, and the big thing which Jared and I will kind of go through today is how well you craft your prompts is going to
Mm.
give you a better result, and you can refine it as you're going along. So
Yeah.
I'm going to start off, if that's okay with you, Jared. I'll start off,
Yeah, perfect.
and we'll do a couple of things. I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be doing, let's see here, some email blasts and crafting some email blasts, a web page, and then an SOP, a standard operating procedure. I've already got the prompts already done up, but you can drill them down. So I'm going to take this first one, and you can see that I'm using ChatGPT. I've got the paid version. Now, if you use the 3.5, which is the free version, should I make this a little bigger, or is this big enough? That should be big enough, right, Jared?
Yeah, it looks pretty big enough to me. I guess it
Okay.
depends on the screen you're on.
So you can use the ChatGPT 3.5 or the paid version, and for what is it, $21 a month? It's a cheap assistant, believe you me.
Yes.
Now there is another one, and I'm going to show you this first before we dive into ChatGPT. But I use ChatGPT all the time. Most of you, if not all of you at this point, and let me just move this over to the right so you can actually see the corner. There's a little thing down in the bottom right-hand corner of your Windows now that says, I think it says pre. It says pre on it, and it's kind of got this little color thing. That's Copilot. And Copilot now is an artificial intelligence built into Microsoft so that you can actually ask it things. Now, it's not going to be as detailed or, I'm not sure, Jared, do you know if Copilot uses OpenAI, or what does it use for an engine? Does it have its own engine? I'm not sure if it...
To my knowledge, yeah, it has its own engine that
Okay.
Microsoft kind of is using, but most of the people out there are copying OpenAI's, or they're doing stuff based on that to try to compete with OpenAI.
Yeah.
But
Or
currently,
even using OpenAI's engine, I would assume too, right?
yeah, and they rebrand it to something different, but they're using, because a lot of it's open source, or some
Right.
of it's open source code and
Right.
stuff. And that's a nice part about OpenAI. They do want to make it accessible to people and not just hoard it completely, but people do want to make money off it, so that's how it
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
goes. So.
Yeah, so you do have that in there. I would say experiment with it, play around with it, see what you can do with it. And it's called Copilot, and you'll just notice down in the bottom right-hand corner here, it's kind of this little colorful thing with a pre in it. Pop it open and mess around with it. But today we're going to use ChatGPT just because we're familiar with it. We use it a lot, and we'll kind of go from there. So I've got some prompts already done. I'm just going to copy and paste because, well, I can't type worth spit, and let's put this in there. So can you help me create an email asking for a referral that my customer may have or could use our services? Can the email have a tone of lightheartedness? So this is what I've kind of typed out. So it's going to do its thing here. So as you can see, it's actually writing it out. Now, the more specific it is, now watch, I'm going to actually do another prompt once this gets in. You can see it's got areas in here, name of your company. You've got in here places where it's something to do with your particular information, like doesn't have your specific business offerings, what your products or services are. My company is CoreLogics, comma, and then I'll just paste in, can you make this specific to our industry? We sell customized support of Act CRM software. So let's just put that in. And you can see here, it's just talking back to me. It's now filling in. It's put CoreLogics in there. It's talking about how Act to help everything run your Act smoothly. And again, is crafting this email that I can send out to customers to be able to try to get a referral from them. And so that's how quick and easy. Now, it's not going to be 100%. You're going to want to go in there and take this information, tweak it a little bit, make it yours. But I could say, make this more serious, make it more lighthearted, make it humorous. I can keep adding prompts to this to refine it down to what I specifically want. And it saves it over on the left-hand side. Now I'm going to do a new one. And this one is for a seminar. And let's just say I'm a construction company. and I'm wanting to do a seminar, and I want to do an email blast and invite people out. So basically, what I'm saying is, hey, we're doing a trade show. We've got some new equipment. We've got dustless sanding, so people who are doing installing and mudding and taping gyprock, they can sand and have less dust. The painter that comes in that needs to sand the walls, he can do that, and with this dustless sanding and being able to keep all the dust down, keeping the people who are doing it healthy and strong, and keeping the dust down for the client. So let's just see what this one does. And you can see it's building it right out. I was being specific, what date, what time, where it's located, and now it's just building this whole email for me. And then I just take this information, pop it into my email blast, tweak it, and we use this stuff all the time. Like, this makes a big deal. So you can see how quick and easy that pops it out. I'm going to do another one here on building a web page. Now, this is a lot of times I see clients' web pages, and they're very static. They built it once, and then they kind of just left it, and it really hasn't got any call to actions. It doesn't have any newer information. So what I've done here, and I'm using our products this time. So could you build a web page about a product we sell called File Manager, which is a software that helps organize documents, scans documents, and has the ability to email documents right from the ActCRM software. The documents are saved in a standard location in the customer's choosing, on a local computer server or in the cloud, blah, 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 like SharePoint and OneDrive. Could you put in some statistics about how much time is lost in the course of a day, month, year on the document recreation, retrieval, when documents are saved at obscure locations and not organized? So let's just see what this particular thing does. And I've used this to actually build web pages. And Jared, I think you've got our web page open. The one about virtual desktop infrastructure, that was all built by VDI, or by AI, sorry.
AI,
And
yeah.
yeah, and that one there, I mean, I maybe 95% of it was built by AI, and then I just tweaked it. So look, you can see here it's building File Manager, key features. It's just building the whole thing for me. And how long has this taken? The hardest part is coming up with a prompt. And really, it's not that hard. If you're very specific in your prompt, it's going to build this whole thing. So here's a web page, and I probably will take me no time to make a few adjustments, reread this, edit it, and then post it on our website, throw some pictures and graphics in, and you're done. So I'm going to do one more prompt, and then I'm going to pass it over to Jared. So this one here, and again, you can keep writing down at the bottom and adding prompts to this to refine it and refine it and refine it as you're going through. Here's one, and because I've noticed this with a lot of people, and this is with regards to financial advisors. I'm basically saying I'm a wealth management company. I sell different products. I want to create a standard operating procedure. Can you give me a structure on how to build this? I want to talk about know your clients, or KYCs, and I want to have an onboarding process, that sort of stuff. So let's just see what this thing does for a standard operating procedure. And it just starts typing down, and now here's your standard operating procedure, or SOP, and it's now building all the different components that you would need to build a standard operating procedure. I've used this for building a, well, you can see down here while it's building it, you can see on the left-hand side here, I built one for a job description. I actually even built this. I've archived most of them, but I wanted to show you these two. I wanted to make some coconut flour cookies, and it built a recipe for me. Like, this is just crazy stuff. But look at this. It's building my whole structure for my standard operating procedure. Now, again, you'll have to go in and tweak it and adjust it. And oh, I should mention, if you have any questions as we're going through, please don't hesitate to pop them in the questions area, and then we can definitely answer.
Yeah. Oh, it looks
All
pretty
right.
cool.
So, any questions out there with regards to this sort of thing? I'm going to pass it over to Jared, and Jared's going to take the ball and show you how to do some social media stuff. All right, Jared, it's in your court now.
Perfect. So yeah, I'll just talk a little bit about ChatGPT. I just had a little. So basically, yeah, there's the free version here. As you can see, I'm going to be using the 3.5. The 3.5 is the free
You're
version.
actually we actually see our website, Jared.
Oh, whoops. Are you not seeing this screen here?
Nope, I see our website.
Oh, let me just 1 second. Let me reshare again, just because sometimes things go weird. We'll go back to here. Oh, we're doing the entire screen. Go over here and we'll share. There we go.
Okay,
You
yeah,
see it
I
now?
see it.
There we
Yep,
go.
see
Sorry
it
about
now.
that,
Yep,
folks.
no worries.
So yeah, basically ChatGPT 3. It's about there's the paid version, the plus. It's $20 US a month, but it's up to date. It's up to like the most modern time, like today, where it has feeding information. Whereas the 3.5, it usually pulls information from about January 2022. And that's sort of its most recent update. So it doesn't really have a ton of new information. It can do limited stuff. So the paid version is a much more up to date, which is another reason why you might want to consider the paid version.
It
But for all
also,
purposes,
yeah, Jared. It
hmm?
also, I found out too, also that the GPT-4 also does analysis and stuff like that, where the 3.5 doesn't really do analysis. It's more for everyday tasks and that sort of stuff. The paid version goes into where you can have Dolly, which you can do graphics, that sort of stuff, browsing,
Hmm.
analytics, and just has a lot more meat to it. And so for the $20 a month, it's worth it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely. I agree. It totally is worth it, especially if you're using all the time. I mean, for me, I use usually the free version a lot. I have used the pay version and played around with it. It's good at making images, which is good too. That's another thing you can use for, let's say, your social media or other stuff. Rather than buying or licensing a stock photo, you can just get it to make an image for you, and then it's yours, and you don't have to pay anybody. And you got Dolly, which is the image creator on ChatGPT 4 to do it. But for purposes of right now, I'm going to show you just how to make sort of social media posts to make that quick. Because nowadays we all have to use social media. It seems like that's just one of the freest and simplest ways to do marketing is on social media to push out content. And unfortunately, you want to be putting out content quite a bit because that's a good way to stay in touch with not only your clients but to build your following as well as to um, just stay in touch and keep people apprised of new things that are coming out and get more business. So I'm just
Can
going to use our website. Oh, what was
can
that,
you
Gary?
can you move up the Chat GPT just a little bit, because we can't see where you're going to put the prompt in. Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh, there
That's
we
good.
go.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you.
There we go. All right. So yeah, here's like our website here. We're going to pull sort of the examples just from our website because this is our website. We own this, so we can copy and paste stuff and use it and it'll work. So I'm just going to go to products here and I'm going to go to our add-ons, our Act add-ons. And one of our newest things is the Act View Plus. So I'm going to go to that. Um, and there's a couple ways you can do to help it make a social media post or something for you. You can either like copy all of this, for example. You just scroll down, copy kind of the whole body of kind of what you want as your prompt that has all your information. You can just press right click, press copy, go back to your OpenAI or ChatGPT, right click and press paste. And now as you see, it's populated to put all of the text that was in there that describes the product. And you can either press enter to get it to go, or you can just make a space bar, put it in brackets, and you can go, uh, let's just see, write me Facebook post promoting this product. And close the bracket, press enter. And as you can see, it's already starting to spit out a social media post for Facebook. Introducing ActView Plus. Tired of juggling multiple screens to manage your Act database? Say hello to ActView Plus. It's doing a whole thing with lots of emoticons and everything like that. It's talking about some of its key features, AMA pop-out window. And it also does hashtags at the bottom as well. It's because a lot of search engines have hashtags that then search it. So other people searching productivity boosts could find that, for example. So it just spits that out really quick, and then you can copy and edit it. And when you're in here like this, there's a little clipboard down here, and that's how you can copy what ChatGPT has written. And you just press that, you can copy that, you can move it over to Facebook or to Microsoft Word to keep editing it. You can also tweak it. So now that we have this post, we can be like, include a link to the product, because we want to get them to go to the website to purchase the product, let's say. And now it's rewriting it, as you can see, very much the same way, but at the bottom, it most likely will put a link. Oh, almost there. Free trial. So you already did a free trial, and as well, so you can click it, and there's a link to be able to go and try ActView Plus, and all you have to do is include a link. Let's say this is too long.
Jared, I was just going to mention that if you don't like the way it sounds, like down at the bottom there, you'll see this little, not refresh one, but what's the one that that can actually run a second version of that?
Oh, yes, there's this little circle thing. It's called regenerate. So it can do it again. So I'll click that, and now it's going to do rewrite it a different way. Different.
And you see down at the bottom, it says 2 of 2. So now you've got a second, and then you can kind of, what I've done is I've done maybe 2 or 3, and then I've taken components out of each one because it rewrites it a little different each time. And then what it does is it allows you to say, oh, I like that out of that paragraph on that one, and this paragraph on this one, and then come up with maybe a more superior version of it at the end.
Yeah, it's really good at tweaking it and stuff. Like, let's say you had it like this, and you didn't like how it sounded. You want it to sound more funny. You could say rewrite to make it sound more funny and witty, for example. And it's going to instantly write it again. And look, it starts off with saying, drum roll, please. Get ready to bid farewell to database chaos and say hello to ActView Plus, the superhero cape your Act database never knew it needed. So it's starting to do a whole different thing, a funny different way to try to promote your product, which is great. I'm just going to grab a drink of water here for a second because my throat is raw. But yeah, so that's it. Can rewrite it a different way you want to do it. Let's say you wanted it funny, you could do it that way. Let's say this is too long. You want something shorter because this is a little bit much to read when somebody's scrolling through. So you could say, please shorten. And you just simply like that. It's now going to make that post a lot shorter. And look, it's much shorter that we can use. And there's a join the fun. There's a little hyperlink to the product. So it's a kind of a cool way that you can do that. Because, a lot of times you want something a certain length. You don't want it too long. You want people to just read it and go on. And there you go. You can also then copy this and edit it. There's another way you can do to get ChatGPT to kind of write you a thing without having to copy and paste. So if you have the link, for example, so I'm going to go to another product of ours here. I'm going to go to our file manager product. As soon as this loads here, so I'll go.
I'm going to have to rewrite the file manager web page after having ChatGPT.
So yeah, this is just showing our web.
That's a pretty old one, that one. So maybe I have to redo that one.
It's a pretty old one, right? So, but you can take the link of a lot of things, and as long as it's a public domain, and it's a public website, you can copy and paste that in there and go, write me a social media post for, let's say, Instagram for this product. Oops, I wrote it wrong. But the nice thing about OpenAI, it's a language model, so it kind of knows if you're making mistakes, what you're kind of trying to do. So as you can see, it's organize your Act database by using File Manager, Core Logic, say goodbye to clutter, and say hello to streamlined, efficient, easily manage file documents and attachments right from your Act interface. Ready to take control? Try File Manager today. And it just used the website and created. I didn't have to copy and paste what the File Manager did. It just used the website as long as it's open, like for the public. It then created it for me, and I could say expand, make or expand, and make make more detailed because we want to know more.
the nice thing about this is for a lot of people who just don't have time to do social media posts, how much time would it actually take? You could say,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
booking
you
half
stress
an
about it.
hour to do social media posts, and bang, you can whistle stuff off so quick, so fast.
Yeah,
And for the most part, for these social media posts, you really don't have to do a heck of a lot of editing, especially if you're doing stuff like Jared's doing, like pulling it off of the your web page or any
yeah,
kind of content that you have. You could actually do stuff if you wanted to give tips and tricks for better productivity. You could actually do searching for productivity in specific things in the office environment or whatever it is that you want to educate or help your client base. You have access to that to your assistant there to give you a hand.
yeah. It makes it way quicker. It does it specifically, as you can see, it says link in the bio for more info. That's an Instagram specific thing where they have link in the bio. So it's specific. It knows kind of what that platform is and it will write something. You can obviously tweak it, get rid of the hashtags if you don't like, add try file manager today and put like a link to your website. You can tweak it a lot, which is nice. A very customizable thing. And another thing that ChatGPT does too, if you're like, okay, that sounds kind of good, but I want it to sound out loud what it sounds like. There's a little bit of a button down here in each prompt. You'll see them here. It's a little microphone. It's called read out loud. And you can click that. You won't be able to hear it because I don't think my audio is connected in with Gary's stuff, but it will read it out loud for you to see what it sounds like. You're like, okay, that
Try it,
sounds,
Jared. Just see
I
if
like
we can
that.
hear it.
Oh, okay. I'll press it. Let me know if can you hear it?
No, sorry.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I think it's just on yours. So,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, you can just copy that and then put it in. You can regenerate. If you don't like the response, you can do it like that. But it can also help get you started for other things. Like obviously, this is the file manager stuff. So using file manager, let's say, make a blog post.
Mm.
And this is just sort of I gave it very little detail, but just asked it to make a blog post for me. And it's titling a blog post or giving me an idea for it, Mastering an Organization, Ultimate Guide to Efficient Data Management with File Manager. And File Manager is all about storing documents in app. So, and it's already promoting it. It's giving you a couple different things that you can use for your blog. You can either expand on a lot of these things. You can make it different. You can change the title. It's very, very good at getting you started. You could even say, give me an outline. Let's say you just want some ideas. Give me ideas for a blog post all about CRM. And CRM is customer relationship management, and that's basically what ACT is and the products we sell. It's to
And
manage
you
all your
could you
customers.
could also you could also start a new prompt as opposed to adding to this existing one. So you can
Mhm.
shift gears, and maybe Jared, you want to just show on the left-hand side, each prompt has its own. It saves it on the left-hand side where you can archive it or keep it there or delete it.
Yeah, it's showing the social media prompt up here in ActView Plus. And if you wanted, so as you can see, I asked it to make one about CRM. It's giving me a couple different things about understanding benefits of CRM, choosing the right CRM, implementing CRM. So it's giving you a bunch of different ideas to help you get started. And that's another thing that it's really good at is helping you to get started because that's one of the hardest part is, okay,
Mm.
what am I going to write about? Uh, I want it to my clients to like it and I don't know what they're looking for. What would be the best idea? ChatGPT, what do you think some good ideas? So that's another thing. And if you wanted to do like a new chat, that because what it will do, it can remember all the history you have and can go off it, which is nice. You don't have to input, let's say, this whole thing I copied and pasted. I don't have to put it in again and say, please write now a social media post for uh, Twitter or X now. It will remember. But if I wanted to start a new one, I just press this little button up here for a new chat. Starts a whole new chat, and you can ask whatever you want, and it starts fresh.
So you can
And
have one for each topic, like a topic
yeah,
that you want. It could be a product topic or what have you. You
yeah,
could have one for each one, and then kind of mess around with it a bit.
yeah. And it can also do an analysis to a degree. The free one's a little more limited, but you could be like, what is the, let's say, target market for File Manager, for example? And let's ask it, see what it says. The target market for File Manager for CoreLogic primarily encompasses businesses and professionals who utilize ACT CRM for managing their customer relationship and data. Specifically, File Manager caters to small businesses, sales and marketing teams, service-based businesses, professionals in highly regulated industries, and remote teams and freelancers. So it can give you some feedback on some of the stuff of your own products to see who your target audience is.
Yeah.
Or even if you wrote sort of your own blog post, copied and pasted in, and you were like, what is the voice or the main themes or the main values being expressed in this writing? And it'll tell you, oh, it's more empathetic or more, it's all about efficiency, where File Manager is mostly about efficiency. And it'll spit out, give you some feedback. And that, going off that feedback, then you can tweak it. Okay, well, my customers are more into sales and marketing right now. We need to switch gears to that, less on efficiency, and then you can go from there.
And you can
Another,
also put in call to actions, or say, is there a call to action in there? If there isn't, what would you recommend
yeah,
for a call to action, right?
yeah.
So there's just tons and tons of things that you can cover. Anything else, Jared, that you want to cover before we wrap up? We're kind of we're at the 30-minute
Are we?
mark. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I would just want to conclude. It can also like edit or do grammar and stuff like grammar. And let me just pull up the one document I had here. So this is just something from our website where I added I put in some wrong commas, and I had spelled custom wrong and expertise wrong. So this is just sort of a document. Obviously, Microsoft Word can do this for you, but if you're in a rush and stuff like that, and you have a large document you want edited, you can copy whatever that document is, go into, ChatGPT, press paste, copy it in, and you can be correct for grammar and spelling. And it will spit it out. As you can see, expertise is now spelled correctly. Added a lot of commas up here that have been removed. Add a bunch of different spacing that was wrong. I spelt there wrong. I think it was you're wrong over here. So it just edits for you and can make it a lot quicker in editing. So it can also be used as an editor in terms of writing, and get things cleaned up, ready to be put out on social media or a newsletter or your website. You can just make things a little bit quicker. And
Yeah, I know. There are times when I've been in a rush. You've either created an email that went out, or some sort of a blog post or whatever, and there's some spelling or grammar mistakes, and quickly put it in there so that it's a second pair of eyes to double check to make sure everything is articulated properly. Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Anything else you want to share, Jared?
That was about it. Yeah, if we're out of time. But it can help you with emails too. If you have an email, you can copy and paste somebody, put an email in and say, write a response, let's say for an empathetic response saying that they can't give them a refund, for example. And it could spit out something and give you sort of a foundation to go off of when you're trying to respond to customers, maybe a difficult customer, or something that be worded a little more professionally and not sound so like, no, we're not going to give you a refund, for example. So it can do things like that, can help make things a little bit faster in your communication at work, as well as on social media and your website, just improving it and making it done fast, efficiently, and for free, at least with ChatGPT 3, which is amazing. It's a virtual assistant basically for you.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's one of those things that really it can up your game. You just have to kind of spend a little bit of time saying, okay, what do I want this to do? And again, it goes back to any kind of any kind of employee that you have or assistant you have. What do you want them to do? And then use them. I mean, there's no reason now that AI is available for you not to up your game when it comes to communication in so many different ways. And so my invitation to you is, search out, start off with ChatGPT or Copilot, which is right in Microsoft now, and see what kind of results you get, and up your game a little bit. Communicate with your clients, let them know that you're out there, share information, educate them, help them to feel that you care, and that you want them to feel that you have the ability to be able to share information that can benefit them. Anything else, Jared, that you can think of before we wrap here?
Yeah, I guess just one last thing. Chat GPT, besides writing, can summarize things. So if you got a large article or a large report or something that somebody sent you, like for example, let's say if you're a financial advisor talking about, let's say, investment opportunities for this month and detailing a bunch of different things in a long article, you can copy and paste that right into ChatGPT and say, summarize into bullet points the main things. And that's a good way to get that whittled down to the basics of things. And then after you whittle it down, let's say, then you can go from there. Like, okay, now I have whittled down to the main points, make a social media post discussing this month's investment opportunities, and that'll spit it out for you. So it's just a good way to process not only data, but also write data and other things quickly. It's just you got to make sure that you look over it and make sure it sounds like you, it's not too robotic, and that
Yeah.
it's accurate, but it can save you a ton of time and be a lot cheaper than hiring somebody else to write all this stuff for you, where you can get AI to do it for you, which is really
Yeah, I
cool.
think there's some sad marketing people out there
There
and
is.
content
Yes,
creators now because of
there
this.
is. But you
But
need a
hey,
human brain to do it, right? You need a
that's
human
right.
brain to
That's
make it
right.
good, right? Right. And yeah,
Well, anyways, thank you so much, everyone, for showing up for the live stream. Hopefully, this has been beneficial to you. Hopefully, you've been able
yeah.
to take something away that you can add to your arsenal of communication that will help you kind of up your game a little bit
Mhm.
and be able to assist and help your clients and prospects to get them where they need to be. We're so grateful that you were able to attend. If you have any comments, put them in the chat, or you can direct message either myself or Jared. We're happy to help in any way we can. We really enjoy messing around with this kind of stuff, and hopefully this will help you. Have yourself a great day. We'll talk to you on the next video. We do have one coming up next week that you may want to look at. It's actually being posted on LinkedIn and YouTube, and hopefully you can attend that, and maybe there's some benefit there for you as well. Have a great one. All the best. Thanks, Jared, for your time.
Yeah, you bet, Gary. Thanks for
Bye
having
for
me.
now.